What are some of the, if you think of, your 34 years, what are some of the more unique or funny situations maybe you found yourself in when it comes to supporting some of your players?
Yeah, you hit me with that question. Now, let me think. I tell you, quite interestingly, I had a player that was going to Russia a long time ago, about 20 years ago, and him and I jump on a plane to go to Russia, done the deal, and he's like, so what do we do now? I'm like, I've never been to Russia before, I don't know. And then the next thing I knew, I phoned my wife and says, look, I think I'm going to have to stay here for a couple of weeks to be able to help him to adapt to what Russia was like, even though I didn't know. But together, the two of us were navigating what he had to do to get a phone, to be able to open a bank account, to understand a little bit of the language, because at that time the clubs were just bringing in players and saying, like, go and get on with it. So here I was in Moscow 20 odd years ago with this young player, and the two are looking at each other saying, what do we do now? Oh, I stayed there with him, and they, believe it or not, got to know a wee bit about, I was in Moscow, a wee bit about how it operated there and how their systems worked. And they learnt in 2 weeks, had to learn a lot. But it was funny. Every day we were coming back and saying, what happened today?
I think that's something people so often overlook. They look at footballers as just like robots, but especially in the case of a massive lifestyle change, going to a new country, having no social circle, and really, as a footballer, it's such a high pressure industry, right? So it speaks to kind of, again, the personal side of what you're bringing to things and going along players. And back to, one of our first parts of this conversation was selecting the right clients, right? Selecting the right players.
A quick story about a player that I brought from Ghana, and he came from Ghana, brought him to Scotland, of all places, and he's like, this is amazing, different, and he was adapting quite well until it came to winter time, and of course it snowed. He'd never seen snow before. He phoned me and says, John, what is this outside? I know it's snow, but what kind of boots do I put on? What do I do? How do I get to the training ground? It's like here with snow. And I found it funny that he'd never seen snow, and I had to sort of guide him through what it was all about. But it was just the fact that, when you're taking somebody somewhere different, you've got to remember it's not all about where you're from, right? It's about them adapting to where they go to and being with them for that